Hi guys, Savage Models here. I'd like to show you a quick tutorial on something which I've just been working on at this moment. Some of you in my recent video probably recognise this guy. It was the Forge World model I've been painting up, the Raven Guard one. So for the last couple of days I've been thinking what I'm going to do for a base for him. And here it is. I thought it was quite cool, and I'm going to show you very quickly how I made this. Right, doesn't matter if it's this type of symbol. It could be ultramarine, dark angels, blood angels, etc. Some of these are obviously quite potty to draw out yourself, a lot of time consuming. So what I done was I found an image on the internet, printed it out to the size I wanted, like so. Doesn't have to be perfect as long as the outline is there. And then I transferred that image onto some tracing paper. Then I transferred it onto some 2mm thick bolster wood. I think you can use a little bit thicker if you wanted to, but this is 2mm thick bolster wood. So the reason why I done this instead of plasticard, bolster wood is a hell of a lot easier to cut than plasticard. Your craft knife will go through this nice and easy, and it is really easy to cut. It's far easier than plasticard. You can cut the curves, you can cut the lines by hand, tidy, it won't go off or anything like that, and it's really easy to sand down, guys. So, you know, and it's really nice and cheap as well. This was like, you know, I think this was like about 70p, you know what I mean, and this is a big long length of it. You can get in most of your craft shops. So when it was actually all cut out, then the problem with obviously the bolster wood is the grain in it. If you paint it over at the moment with this, no matter how many coats of paint you put on there, you still see the grain through it and it still look like wood. So the way to combat that is use some polyfiller for obviously filling in your cracks in walls from any DIY shop. You can get this. And what I done with this one, guys, put some in my mixing tray and I diluted it down to a liquid content, quite a little bit thicker than milk. And what I did then, guys, was I obviously put about 2 to 3 coats over the bolster wood, then waited for it to go off, which doesn't take long because it's only really thin coats. You can speed it up obviously with a hair dryer if you got one. Then I rubbed it down with some sandpaper. Then after that I went over with a finer grade sandpaper just to get rid of the harsh lines from obviously the heavier sandpaper. I didn't want to do it too smooth because I wanted some texture in the piece itself. So when I was all ready and done, obviously I had this base then, which I showed how I done these. I had some clay which cures at air temperature. So I had quite a piece of amount of clay. Originally flattened the top surface of this, and I just pushed it all together very roughly with my fingers, up to a obviously 45-degree angle, which I wanted. And after I was happy with that, underneath then I put some extra pieces of clay just to support the edges of the bolster wood, because the bolster wood obviously is quite fragile, to give it more support. And what I used to get all the indentations of the clay was a piece of rock. I just had the rock, and basically you just stipple it inside the clay, and it gives this like natural indentations around it. And obviously it can look like rock, it can look like soil. You could, and if you wanted to, guys, you could put, you know, pieces of piping, tubing, cables, wire mesh in there if you wanted to. You know, you could even put that on top as well, to so it's actually coming out of the soil itself if you want to, guys. But for this reason I just didn't do that for this one. So that's that at the present moment, guys. And now I'm going to show you how I made this space. What I used to make this space was a lid. For UK purposes, I got these lids from Tesco's, in the fridge section. For everyone else, just go to your local superstore where they sell your food products, and go in obviously the fridge section, and where they sell these fancy yogurts, these ice creams, or like these snack trifles, or like Knickerbocker Glories. And these are the lids from them, guys. Personally I don't like the stuff, but I buy them for my other half, and she thinks I'm thoughtful and all sweet of me and whatever, and I'm just buying them because I just want the lids. So I turn it upside down, I fill it full of plaster Paris, and I used quite cool top tip, guys. Get a normal house wall plug, which you pick up anywhere. Size is entirely up to you. And when the plaster is curing, stick one of these in the centre, guys. So when it's actually set off, the reason why is if you take your models to conventions, like local model conventions or games day for argument, guys, right? You would if you got one on display base, you know, it ain't gonna fit in your regular box. You need a transport box to actually carry your model. And the trick is when you got the plug inserted inside your base, you can have a piece of wood, ply, MDF, even probably a piece of bolster wood fixed to your bottom of your base, or even you can use the base of your box itself, and you put a screw at the bottom, guys. And what you do, you got your plug inside, and you just basically screw your base to the bottom of your box, and obviously that piece of wood is secured to the bottom of your box, so no matter how much you move this, your base and your model ain't gonna go nowhere unless you fix it right on top, of course. But obviously that's totally secure now, so it's not gonna touch any edges whatsoever, so it should stay in supreme condition. So that's a quite cool tip, guys, right? Bear that in mind when you do actually make bases like this. Oh, so back to this one. So obviously when it was all set and cured, I started having my knife and started creating the nicks and the bullet holes. I needed it to make a crater in the centre of the model, because obviously I wanted this piece to be put on a 45-degree angle, because where the lucky winner is for this model, I wanted them to see the whole display base rather than just obviously looking on top. So with the model, I inserted a magnet in his foot and a magnet in the base. So anytime, looks quite cool, eh? He's just as he is. So what I'll do, which I haven't made one yet, I'll make his gaming base, and I'll do the same principle. I'll put a magnet in his gaming base, so you can use him for gaming purposes, and when he's finished, you can just plop him back onto his display base. And what I done with the display base, guys, I airbrushed it from dark greys to light greys to white at the top. Then I went over it with a brown oil wash. Then I wait for that to go off, and then I used a makeup eye sponge, which I've nicked off the other half. She doesn't know. To wipe some of the excess oil off on top, because I wanted it a bit, obviously a bit more lighter. It stained a bit more, but I still wanted to keep it in the very fine recesses, where obviously the texture of the paste is. And then I dry brushed it back over very lightly with a very light grey, and similar to the back of it, I think I sprayed it to like an olive green drab, and I put a heavy oil wash in all the recesses, and I highlighted the back area as well. So I think that's it, guys. I hope you like my sort of quick tutorial. If you like it, please subscribe and pass the word. I would like to have a few more subscribers. Hope I can bring some more interesting stuff in the future. Cheers, guys.